I did this during the backseat.
Yeah. No, I was just.
Right. With the exception of number two. Two won't be on there.
Wait, so should I do be on there?
Ask wordy questions and type.
You're lying.
My hands are so cold. I don't know why.
Because it's cold.
It's not hot outside.
Actually.
I hear that.
Shut up.
It's
Too cold here? No.
Right. It's cold.
Man, it's warm.
Yep.
It's supposed to snow.
Yeah, but everything I see on the weather channel doesn't show great chances, so.
It might have to go.
Yeah, but right now we still have all this spring break, so let's not.
Yeah. I think that's
This?
And then I ended up doing it.
Okay.
I forgot how to do it.
Yeah, she sounded great.
So, you're not supposed to do that at the bottom of the list.
Where's everybody?
Someone said it's so deep, and I is the bottom of the three at the top. I said,
No, it just makes me upset.
Shine at the ground, go.
Yeah.
Stay right there. Go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Because like some people are trying to walk in and all of a
All right, finish your open. 9:04. Y'all have 5 minutes and we're going over it. Why aren't you testing? I thought you tested today. Aren't you supposed to be testing?
They couldn't get my thing to sign it. Give me a sign in, but the thing is tomorrow go.
Yeah,
It was legit still.
All right.
Right. I was mad at anything to breakfast. That's why you just
So I just started like.
I did it nice.
Real. Of course it will.
Okay, what's that supposed to mean?
I already said it. Yes, ma'am.
How we don't use those racials.
But she.
Did you give us
Combustion.
Don't do that.
Say something. Something. Sorry. Yes. Say something.
Okay, what's the
Oh.
Don't be your
I want to see it.
I'm gonna do it.
It doesn't matter about that. And if it's alone,
Be proud of me.
it's very tricky.
I'm so happy to
It's not one of those.
all my grades are weird, but it's like, oh, I should like have a
Like a little
I thought we just had the right equation. Yeah,
I swear.
We always have to. It's just better to balance.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to.
Easy.
Why?
I know that's good, but
Got it tomorrow.
paper?
All right, we done?
Yeah.
All right, so we're looking at the first.
That would be good.
Other than Linda, are we done?
No, two.
Hey, Linda.
All right, I got 10:08. I got 2 more minutes for those of you who are hollering no.
So if it's CO2,
Hey.
yeah, that's literally what I'm like, I can do that. Since this is, they're all together. They're separate.
But it doesn't feel that.
Well, they have Band-Aids.
Yeah.
Decomposition times, yeah.
Needy people.
I mean, who brings Band-Aids to school?
What did she say?
She already went there.
What did you say?
Okay.
Why do you have Band-Aids? I'm ridiculous.
You have a whole day.
They're just sitting at the desk, right? They sketch them too.
Because my skin is hanging, like, if I take it off, it doesn't hurt anymore, but if I leave it there, it still hurts.
Cut yourself on
All right, I have 10 after. All right, so nickel plus oxygen. How do we write nickel? Ni. It's by itself. Does it get a 2?
No.
No. All right. It's not one of the 7 diatomics. All right, plus oxygen. It gets a 2. It's by itself and it's one of the 7. All right, nickel 3 oxide is a what? It's a compound, so we have to do what did? Crisscross. Nickel has a 3. Oxygen has a 2. So bring your 2 down. Bring the oxidation number of 3 down. We know it's a 3 because it has the Roman number, right? Okay, I'm going to get rid of the oxidation numbers. We need to balance. So what number do we, or what element do we want to do first? Oxygen, sure. So there's a 2, there's a 3, so I'm going to make 6. So 3 there, 2 there. That made how many nickels? 4. So put a 4 there. All right, what type of reaction did I choose for number 2?
BACL.
Yeah, but what type is it? It's single. I chose single. So what do we need to do to predict the products in single displacement? Oxidation number. So what oxidation number does nickel have?
3.
Plus 3. What does chlorine have? And what does barium have? So which 2 elements are we going to switch? Nickel and barium. So nickel and barium are going to switch. So what 2 products am I going to wind up with when they switch? Ba with a Cl, okay, and Ni. So do I bring this 3 over here?
No.
No. I don't have a polyatomic ion, so no subscripts come across the arrow. So, plus 2 and minus 1. Bring my 2 down. Nickel is by itself. Is it 1 and 7?
No.
It gets nothing. All right, get rid of my oxidation numbers. To balance, what do you want to balance?
Let's balance CL.
CL, it has a subscript. Nothing else has a subscript.
Right.
So 3 and 2, so I'm going to go 6 again. So 2 here to make 6. 3 there to make 6. 2 nickels, so 2 nickels. 3 bariums, 3 bariums. Okay? So in number 3 and 4, I just asked for the types. You don't even have to balance them. So what type is number 3? Signal displacement. It's 2 elements or compound plus an element. And number 4? Combustion.
Miss Wall.
Yes.
Shh,
Guys, you hear Nylasia when she said Miss Wall? That means the rest of you are quiet. Nylasia.
Are we gonna have the oxidation sheet for our quiz?
Yes, it will be my oxidation sheet. It will not be yours. All of the quizzes that go in this unit and the chapter test, unit test, all are my oxidation sheet. You never know when those acids will pop up.
And you did say that the 7 diatomic
Elements, yes.
have a, try not to say things, oxidation
Number.
of what?
Only the ones that are the 5 clear brown iguanas. Not all of them.
So what's the other fluoride?
You turn your paper over to the back side. They're on the ones at the bottom.
5 clear brownie ones.
See the ones down there that say fluoride, bromide, iodide.
Are these the 7? Oxygen? So-
Yeah, oxygen's going to have a -2. Nitrogen's going to be, sulfur's going to be a -2.
And nitrogen?
Nitrogen's going to be a -3.
Okay.
But they say that down there. It's just when you look at the chart, the ones that are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, when you look in the alphabetized list, these all have -1, +1, +3, +5, and +7. The only one we use is -1. Okay?
Yeah, what's the other two?
H lists -1 and +1. N has a whole bunch of them, but -3. And we've used the positive ones there already. And then O has -2.
Those are the diatomics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Hydrogen, nitrogen, not with it.
Hector now owns 5 clear brown iguanas. It's a stupid sentence, but if you learn the sentence, it's not hard to keep track of the elements.
Oh, there you go.
Just think about
It's kind of, it's like a little bell, but like the guns. Yeah.
Anything else before we talk homework? All right, let's look at homework. All right, let's do the one with the types first, because those I'm just going to call out. I'm not going to put the answers on the board for that one.
Please.
Okay, so the faith doesn't cry over there. I don't want faith to cry because I didn't check homework. All right, 4 through 10. Fabulous.
She's actually checking the whole.
Yes, Faith's gonna cry if I don't.
I didn't know
Fabulous.
I needed that recommendation. recognition.
Yes. Yeah.
Give me a second. I think if I say clear, it makes it, I'm gonna get those over my mouth.
What you got?
It's right there. It's like that little L.
I think it's a little bit long. She's not gonna cover it up.
Boy, that's
Yes.
Alright, we don't have it. No. We go down.
Alright. So who are my exempted people? Annabelle was testing. Alejandra's testing. Cecilia's testing. Urban's moved. Destiny. Micaiah. Caleb. Dylan. Jayla's testing, right?
Yeah.
All right. Those are my 8. All right. All right, so the types. Number 1, what type is number 1? Synthesis is right. Number 2? Displacement 3. Synthesis 4. Displacement 5. Decomposition 6. Displacement 7. Single displacement 8. Single displacement 9. Synthesis 10. Double displacement 11. Single displacement 12. Synthesis 13. Synthesis 14. Decomposition. All right, now let's look at the answers for predicting. Right. This quiz should be easy. There's no predicting on it.
Oh, never mind. When are we taking a quiz?
Not today.
Tomorrow?
Oh, we have a quiz.
Please tell me it's
There's not one tomorrow.
See what it says up there?
All right. 4, 5, and 6 are on this page. There's 4, 5, and 6.
Oh.
You ready for me to turn it? How about now?
Oh,
I might not.
Sorry, Mom.
You're welcome.
How about now?
Yeah.
All right, so number 7 through 10 is there.
Yeah, maybe.
Everybody write down 11.
Why we're not doing them?
Oh my God.
You better
Yeah, know how to run. Well, now that you got to join the swim team to learn how to swim.
What?
Now you just got to join the swim team to learn how to swim.
Not a bad idea. Sometimes to join the pool to do that, but I don't recommend joining the for that.
Bad idea.
No, she go.
Right, like, wait a minute. First thing you should do, can I see what you
I did that with my kids' ball. I joined the local pool and part of the coach did.
But that's when it's I wouldn't do that now.
Right, I'm scared to get in the water and drown, so I don't go in the water.
Oh, I know I ain't doing
Right.
I'm laughing.
I mean, I can float with the water, I just can't. I mean, I'm scared too when I'm like, I'll get in the water. That's what's telepathy, just get action. Okay, and I don't know what the Lord is too slow and start catching when I'm drowning.
Alright, what questions do you have?
Can you go, 4, I don't know what I did wrong.
4, you don't know what you did wrong.
Yeah.
Alright, so if we're looking for,
I didn't simplify.
as possible, I don't know, this is where y'all stop.
I know.
So at number 4, somebody asked for that one. Cobalt has what oxidation number?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have that.
alright, so +3. Oxygen is a -2. Potassium is a +1. So who'd you switch?
I switched the coke that the potassium with the oxygen.
You put potassium with oxygen
No,
or
I put the potassium with the cobalt.
no? Because if you put potassium with the cobalt, you put the +1 with a +3.
So you keep it the same as it was before?
No, you have to switch the K with the CO so that K and O are going together because K is +1 and O is -2. You have to put a positive element with a negative element. Okay? And then CO will just be by itself.
Okay.
But you can't put the two positive elements together. And if you put K and CO together, then you're putting the two positive elements together. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then we're going to have the 2 come down when we crisscross. And then CO is by itself is at 1 of the 7.
No.
No, so we're not going to put anything on it. And then we'll be ready to balance. I can go ahead and take out these oxidation numbers because we don't need them anymore. And then we have 3 O's. So I'm going to put a 3 there and make 3 O's. I made 6 K's and then 2 CO's.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else question on any of the homework?
5.
5. All right. So I only put this +3 here to tell y'all I wanted you to use the +3 oxidation number.
Oh.
Okay, that's all that's for. Since there's multiple oxidation numbers, I just wanted you to know I wanted you to use the +3 and not the +2. Okay? So that's +1. And carbonate, I'm going to put in parentheses because it's a polyatomic ion. And it's got a -2. All right? And iron, I want you to use the +3. So who's going to switch?
Iron and the lithium.
Yep. So Li is going to be by itself. And Fe is going to be in its spot. So Li being by itself is taken care of, but Fe now goes over here. So Fe is going to be with CO3. Now notice I brought the 3 across the parenthesis or across the arrow because it's in the parentheses. It's part of that polyatomic ion. It's got to stay. Okay? But this 2, I didn't bring it across the arrow because it came from that crisscross of oxidation numbers. It doesn't get to come. All right, so lithium is it 1 of 7? Is lithium 1 of 7 diatomics?
No.
So I don't put anything on it. This is a compound, so I'm going to look up its oxidation numbers. And iron, I wanted you to use the what? +3. And carbonate has what oxidation number? -2. So I'm going to bring my 2 down. I'm going to bring my 3 down. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this and this. And I'm done with that. So I get rid of it. So now I'm ready to balance. So there's 3 carbonates over there. And only 1 carbonate here, so I'm going to put a 3. I made 6 allies. So 6. And then my iron. So I got 2 over there. So I'm going to put a 2 there. Okay. Who else? Anybody else on?
Can you do number 7?
All right. So on PbNO3, what's PB's oxidation number?
+2.
Okay. It's nitrate's oxidation number.
-1.
All right. What's K?
+1.
I want Cl. All right. So who is switching with who?
I did PB and then CL.
Switch them or put them together?
Put them together.
Okay.
Oh, I get what you're asking.
Okay. So you put PB with Cl.
Yes.
Okay. And that would put K with who? All right. So NO3 is inside the parentheses. So again, the 3 gets to come with the NO3 because it's inside. All right. This 2 is outside the parentheses, so it does not get to come across the arrow. Does that make sense? All right. So now, because everything over here is a compound, we put in the oxidation number. So +2, -1, +1, -1. So this +2 and that -1 do what? So we're going to bring a 2 down.
Okay.
And these 2 +1s do what to each other?
Cancel.
They cancel. So I'm not even going to crisscross them. Since they cancel, I'm not doing anything with them. I'm just going to flat out erase them. All right. This +1 and or +2 and -2 I've already canceled. Or crisscross, I'm going to erase them. And then these are gone because I'm done. So now I can balance. So what do we want to balance first? Okay. So how many NO3s are here?
2.
So how many are here?
1.
So if there's only 1 there, I need to put a 2. How many Ks did I make? So I need to make how many here? How many CLs did I make? And how many CLs are here?
2.
So all we need to do is check lid. How many PBs?
1.
And how many here? Anybody else?
I got my thing.
Yes, ma'am.
For number 6, I'm just like really lost.
Okay.
Once they switched,
All right. So you have AL, which has a +3, I has a -1, and F has a -1. So which 2 elements are switching? And all right. So you put who with who on this side?
AL.
AL with F, and then I is by itself, right? So this is a compound, so what do? So +3, -1, bring your 3 down. I is by itself is a 1 of the 7. And put a 2 on it. And now, get rid of that and balance. You need me to do it again? You need me to look at what you got?
What was the answer to it?
Two ALF3 plus 3I2. You mean to look at it? Nadia? Yeah? Take the mask.
It's on the back of the door.
Which one is it? This one? They're both after 3 or 4 years of being drug around to the bathrooms. Nasty. Now one's covered in tape. I'm not even willing to take it home and put it in the washing machine. All right.
What about me?
Anything else on homework? Fabulous. You need a writing utensil.
That's it.
That's it. You can have a calculator if you needed to multiply and add. Here, Karen. Karen. If you want a periodic table, I guess. The element symbol's wrong here. You can use a periodic table to make you feel better.
So I know the little L thing.
Oh, yeah. If you're like Madison and you wanted to know the little L thing, sure, you can use a periodic table.
Well, it's just if you.
That's what I said.
I mean, I took it out yesterday.
Oh, to get this place You will eventually when we're not doing things like this and math.
Oh.
It's H, no, D or C.
Well, it helps, it actually does help.
H, no, D or C.
Oh, it is.
That.
You feel like sound crazy. Good thing. Apartment on San Francisco.
All right, does everybody have an isolation sheet for Karen? Periodic table on one. All right.
Listen to song.
Now, sometimes you will have an acid on the quiz. Sometimes you will not. Today is one of those days you do not. But I'm not giving you your own oxidation sheet on the quiz. So if you do not remember those acids,
That's tough.
you need to learn them. Because you will see more than one on the test. Now, on the quiz, there are little lines beside the number of the question. What do you suppose those little lines are for? To put the type. Okay? So, if you will, please write the type out to the side of the question. If you're going to write the whole name, it's fine, but abbreviate is fine with me. I have no issues with abbreviations. Just use the right abbreviation, as Karen said. And then please write the word equation in symbols, and you must balance the equation for those of you who keep asking me that, okay? To what? Are you going to write the answer on the test paper? Yes. You're still working. Okay. Then why are you making eyes at Kevin question in the middle of the quiz? Please tell me you're not sad. No, that's good.
these like 10 questions?
Hmm?
Are these 10 questions? Is it 10 questions since the?
Mm-mm. There's still only 5. There's 20 points each. Types are 5 points. The balance stuff is 15.
If you get the type right, but you do something wrong in the balance, you get special points.
Type is 5. Equation is 10. Balancing is 5.
Equation, okay, so you get, okay.
Was that a yes to partial credit? Was that a yes to partial credit?
There is some partial credit, yes.
Oh, no.
Yes, you can get partial credit on this. You're still working at this point. I got 2. Got Okay, that's purpose of the problem. All right, my try station sheets to the front too. Now I'm just gonna pick those up. I haven't even bought this.
Right, I was like, so like, you're good for the conference, so I was just like freaking out now. I will, I'll be very I don't And I can show you the specific one. You can call me. Oh my god. No, you can't.
Oh, she's gonna try her.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be smart blue. It's gonna be like it's gonna be nice.
Is it gonna be a chair blue or that square one? Yeah.
It's gonna be like the periodic table.
You're gonna try it, really?
I'm gonna strip it.
What are you talking about? You did?
Yeah, I know it's gonna be.
Oh, yesterday.
It won't be.
I'm not gonna Thursday, Friday. Thursday I work from 7:30. Friday I work till 7. Saturday I work.
I have straight like
On job?
number 60.
Yeah, that's why I chop my hair like every day. And then like I really
Alright, Karen's bringing the last of the opens around. I gave you back the balance and quizzes.
Can I see? I want to see.
Steve,
I thought you were the first one. I haven't worked in that before. The 26th.
Alright, find the back side of your homework from last night.
Which one? Wait, what are you asking? What is it?
The other one's in that back. The other one didn't have the back side.
The products.
Yeah, the type worksheet did not have a back.
Yeah.
If I asked you to predict products and I didn't give you the symbols, because on the test, either Friday or next Monday, whichever day we do it, probably Monday, and given that we have several people out today and tomorrow. If I don't give you the information in symbols, I do it in words, would you be okay with that?
Are we gonna be able to like have a periodic table or oxidation sheet?
No, not gonna give you
Oh,
any.
you want us to just write it in words? Can you give
Whoa,
us like
what?
an example?
What?
Really, Liz,
I'm confused about what you're
What
asking.
I'm asking you to take that
Uh-huh.
with an oxidation sheet periodic table, just like
Yeah,
you had today on the quiz, and I want you to write the entire equation. You've got to translate the reactant side into symbols also and predict the products. Are we okay with that?
So like, would you do like?
Because I didn't assign any of that for homework classified, so would we be okay?
Like, is it like?
Alright, so let's do 3 or 4 and make sure I'm okay. I don't wanna make that assumption, and then you get the task on Monday and freak out.
Yeah.
Alright, so, let's say, just to pick a couple in the middle of the paper so we have some of each. Let's say,
5, 9.
Let's
get 7.
that's alright, so let's say 7, that'll be a double.
I think it's per minute.
Let's do 1, let's do 1, let's do 3, let's do 5 and 7. 1, 3, no, 5 is another single, get rid of 5. I don't need another single. 1, 3, that's 2 singles, 7, and 9.
Okay.
That's 2 singles and 2 doubles.
Do you want us to write the other side?
Yes, so you've gotta write the reactive side and then predict the product.
Yeah, but do you want us to predict it in words?
I want you to do it all in symbols,
Oh, okay.
okay? I don't care if you do it in words first and then put it in symbols or what, but I want it completely in symbols and then balanced.
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now, bro.
No.
When do you sign up on it?
Why? Next year.
At least I did all my homework.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody got another acronym?
Anybody got a what? Just avoiding them? Are you just avoiding them?
Yeah. And the
Okay. I ran copies for next week and possibly. I didn't even have to try.
Shout out to my boy Ricky.
Did you get a break? I want you to roll it twice.
Okay, you.
Well, we're gonna go back
Okay, me.
Did you say 2 6?
Okay. So if you want brown.
Four.
Your warm up.
Say it there again. Say it. I'm saying it like you said it. Say it like you said it. 2, 3, 2.
I got it. Wait.
Yeah, I know.
I got your attention, didn't I?
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Wait, Raquel, why are you number 2?
Oh.
I just never thought about what you said. I'm like,
All right, who has a question? Y'all have enough time to get stuck on something.
Thanks. Somebody you have so much faith.
Right.
I'm feeling kind of useless here. Somebody else have a question for me?
Okay, I have a question.
No, you don't.
All right. -1, -1. You got 2. You want to switch them, not put them together.
They can't be the, it's supposed to be the.
Yeah, I know that.
Wait, these two are negative.
We just make it.
So for number one, I could be doing this one.
What did it be like the same thing?
Yeah, I'll go. I thought it
I
would
went
be,
to see, yeah.
I'm gonna get number one too.
Okay, so this is gonna be a negative. Okay, so it's always gonna be a negative? Okay.
Because they gave us 13.
Right. I want to get like a varsity jacket, but because they like an accident, you know what I mean? There's a girl. Ew, you wanted that one?
And like,
I mean, this is the one I mean, the years back, that's, I mean, they have no license, so you can order one. I have one just wow, this is ugly, ew, I didn't want it, my mom got it.
Look up the
So it's a girl, yeah.
And she did the same thing. She did.
I didn't know that. You still like an idiot.
It was by itself, it was one of the days. Because in the second one,
I'm still trying to get
it's
out.
one of the lonely things, like, you know.
No.
Don't ask me.
Wait a minute. What is this on permanent gate? What is that?
Yeah, hang on.
Oh, there it is.
Waiting on Kevin to stop moving this paper around so I can see it.
Permanent gate.
Or banging it. All right, so when you look at this, that was 3. See how they put the negative ones? You put the negatives together. Switch them. Yes.
Why? But I thought since it was by itself, I didn't
There's a negative 1. You're trying to give it 2 because it's subscript, not oxidation.
What's the difference?
Or did the two? Yes.
I thought they meant the same thing.
No, they don't.
Why?
So whenever you have 5, clear, brown, 1 for the handle on your gun.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no.
Yes.
But their subscripts are too.
Your subscripts are when they're by themselves.
Yeah, but not oxidation.
Your oxidation.
Then how do we know if we have to do subscripts before oxidation?
Because
Your oxidation are always negative. Your subscripts are only 2 that are 1. Your oxidations are always negative.
Yes, but how do we know if we have to use
2 when they're 1.
That's a lot.
It's oxidation, but still negative.
Okay, so say this is by itself, and we need to figure out. So, yeah.
You put the subscript 2 on, it's there. But it's still a negative 1 oxidation. No, I'm not here. It's crisscross. Chlorine is a negative 1. It's like crisscross is oxidation.
For this one, we're not at the 2, or would I not?
You won't necessarily put a subscript 2 on it. It's still a negative 1 oxidation.
I know all of us are finished.
See what I'm saying?
I think.
It has a lot of rules.
Why?
Many exceptions.
Okay,
I think they devised this message.
You're putting two on.
Wrong words.
Am I ever gonna use this?
No, I told you all that. I was very open and honest about that day 1. All right, how are we on this side? All right, this has what oxidation number?
I got 2.
What's this?
Look,
7.
I got 2, 7, 2.
So if this is a 7 on this side, it's still a 7 on this side. So that means this is a +7 here and a -1. So instead of having a 2 right there, you're gonna put what?
7?
7.
Wait, so I'm
No.
not by itself?
That's right. You do not put a 2. It's not by itself.
That was my point.
Yeah, I don't even know what I did. No, I didn't do it right.
We already.
What are you talking about?
Was yes for that side. But you gotta have this side in symbol form also, not just that side.
That's what I got.
What's the problem? First letter of that second element. So, okay. Now you gotta write this side. You gotta write A, L, C, L.
Don't stop.
Plus bromine.
Yes.
You put
Then, write your A, L,
Get smacked.
3 plus.
Seems too easy.
Now you can go back and write this side.
But H doesn't have.
Hydrogen is plus 1. That's plus 1. So I don't have to explain this 400 times. Because y'all will all want to ask the same question. In just a second, so I can write your name down. Apparently, I don't have it pulled up.
No, wait.
All right, when you get to number, what is it, 9? All right, and you go to do sulfuric acid. All acids work this way. Sulfuric acid is not unique. All of the acids work this way. Okay? It's a normal compound, like any other compound. You have H2SO4. The first element is what? Okay, so the first element's oxidation number. Look it up on your chart.
+1.
All right, it's got a -1 and a +1 written there, right? But it's first, so it has to have what oxidation number? It's got to be +1. So that's the first element. Everything else after it is together. So SO4 is a what? It's a polyatomic ion. This 2 came from where? Came from SO4. It's its oxidation number. Okay? If we had phosphate, if we had phosphoric acid, hydrogen again is first. It's got a +1 because it's first. That 3 came from up there. Okay? It doesn't matter what acid you have. Yeah. So what now?
Pretty much all of the acids are hydrogen combined with a polyatomic.
Or hydrogen in a single element. So if you had like hydrochloric, it's HCl. So it's hydrogen with just Cl.
So it's always hydrogen.
Yes. And hydrogen is +1, and then whatever it's with. So when you go to single displace or double displace, hydrogen is switching with the positive, and this is switching with the negative. Okay? Does that answer most of those questions that I had there?
Yes.
Does that answer yours? Yeah, because you were arguing about with Kevin.
You go to Harvard?
No.
I haven't finished.
Make sure it's better on North Carolina.
It's by itself, and that 5 and that 6, 7.
Right, down.
That number is 7, yeah.
Because I took full hydrogens.
Because it's by itself and it's not one of those. Pop that.
That's
Other than that.
Let me see.
no mistake you have.
But it wouldn't carry
Those two numbers. Where is it supposed to be?
It's not the diagonal. But she's trying to do that.
All right, who else has a question?
Because it's all 7.
Man, my paper, bro. How you
I want to stop thinking, but I can't.
Yes.
Then you do it.
No, don't have anything.
I already have.
By itself, it's not one.
And that's.
Listen,
go.
We're going.
Look, she's,
I think I'm right, I don't know. For this,
You have to treat it like.
for this.
Alright. Is this one the $7?
We weren't.
Don't think so.
We're not putting $7.
3 plus 2.
We got this is by itself. You can get 2 or nothing. You know, you manage right there, so look, I'll do that 7 right there.
Well, why did you do that?
Just so you can put 7 on.
Oh.
Seriously, you need that oxidation number over here. Like you need to know what's hanging.
Yeah.
Cause look, let's say this,
What
it was just chilling. Bottom line,
Yeah, the antivirus off, and then.
If it's by itself, unless it's diatomic, it gets nothing. Yeah, trip you up. Just work, didn't it? Got you on the quiz with iron 3 too, didn't I?
I don't need to.
If it's a compound that you crisscross,
Only one.
that's why I wrote iron 3 on the quiz and I wrote manganese 7 right there. Because you needed it on that side, so that, see how you wrote +2 right there? It's not +2, it's +1. 7, because I told you it's 7. Okay. Then you can bring
Okay,
it
you
on
got
7
it.
down. Joyce,
But then how do we know what oxidation number is?
so apparently it's a good thing we were practicing this, because we don't have it.
How many points did I get?
All of them.
Alright, you would lose points for stupid stuff. Tell me what's stupid about what I just circled out there.
I don't know.
You really don't know?
I actually don't know.
You have no idea why I circled that. No. It says manganese.
Did she put manganese?
You put magnesium.
Yeah.
Manganese?
I put MG. It's a letter difference.
Wait, then how do we know what the oxidation?
Yeah, I know.
number
It's
is?
like
Alright, check your answers.
No.
Alright, 1, 3, and 5 are on that board, so, oh, never mind, 1, 3 are on that board.
Thanks, Cynthia. That helps a lot, my boys.
How do we know the
It's
oxidation
just a
number?
quiz. I get this.
Is it like +2?
And then, no, I told you it's 7 in the question, that's why I put the Roman numeral 7 behind it.
That's the oxidation number.
Yes, so when I tell you,
Cynthia.
And not the substance.
so when I tell you in the question, it's manganese 7 in the question. That's why I've written the Roman number there. And once it starts as a 7 on the reactant side, it's a 7 all the way through the
So
question.
it's just the oxidation number.
It's just the oxidation
Not
number.
what we bring
It
down.
is not the substrate, that's correct.
Because apparently those two things are different.
And I'll be glad to work that.
I didn't know this.
I'll be glad to work that one if you need me to work that.
I would have had a straight.
So I just put one.
Alright, are we ready to look at the last two? Alright, there are the last two.
Okay.
7 and 9.
I'm not that.
Miss Walton.
Sure.
I forgot.
No, I just know that.
But I don't see any other. No.
Don't worry, I got a 64 on this page.
After
Oh, which one?
We're gonna grade those.
The white one?
Today.
Yeah.
Probably later today. I will
Yeah.
take it up anything in Thursday today, so probably after school.
Think I am.
I thought it was 72 or something.
Never mind. At the end of it, it's like 20, and then because you can teach it.
If they're good, they grade faster than if they're bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have fun with mine.
She said, "Yo, it's gonna be reading
It will take a
anyway."
long time today.
Yeah.
All right, so if we look at what you need help with,
Yeah.
what things do we need to work? Nothing?
Like,
Other than you need to learn magnesium and manganese.
Oh, every
Yes.
time.
All right.
Good question.
I don't know.
All right, for those of you for anybody who's like Joyce and Madison earlier, all right, when you see the Roman number 7 here, all right, manganese 7 does not get the Roman number 7 brought down as a subscript, okay? So they asked me, Miss Wall, why'd you put that there? All right, A, yes, it does trip students up. No, the reason it's not there is to trip you up. No, even though I make jokes about that. It's not there to do that. I have to tell you the Roman number for manganese, or you don't know the oxidation number when you get to the other side, when you predict the products and you put it together as a compound. When you write manganese is an element, is manganese one of the 7 diatomics?
No.
It does not get a subscript. It either gets a 2 or it gets nothing. Is it one of the 7? You do not put that 7 on it in any way. You leave it alone and you go to the next one. Okay? That's the answer to the subscript question you guys were asking. It gets a 2 or nothing. Okay? It does not get that 7. Okay? Yes, you can. Because you're not crisscrossing with anybody, it gets nothing. So you've got your lead with 2, and then chloride is that -1 we were talking about. It's always a -1. 2 and 1. Now, that was a 7, +7, +2, -1. Now, the reason we had to know that it was +7, and the reason I wrote it here, is because you need to know what it is, to know who to switch, A, and so once we switch them, and we put the manganese and the chlorine together, and the lead is cast out over here by himself, does lead get a subscript? No, because it's not one of the 7. Now it's important that I told you manganese had what oxidation number? 7. Because manganese has a 7. Whatever it started with on this side, it still has on this side. That's why I told you manganese was a 7. And chlorine is a -1, so you bring your 7 down, the manganese has now. Okay? That's why I told you it was a 7. Now, it does work very nicely in tripping up teenagers, though, and they have a bad tendency to want to put that 7 I told you about right there, but it can't go right there. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
But that's why I have to tell you what it is. So over on this side, you know what manganese is. All right, other questions? Anything you need me to talk about out of those 4? Sure. All right, number 9 was sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid, sodium phosphate is Na, it has a +1. Phosphate is PO4, it has a -3. Bring our 3 down. Now, this is what I was talking about a second ago. So hydrogen has what oxidation number? +1 when you look it up. It says +1 and -1. If it's first, is it the +1 or the -1? It's the +1. Sulfate is a polyatomic ion. That 2 came from up there, so it's a -2. So which elements are going to switch places? The sodium and the hydrogen. So Na is going over here with the SO4. And the H is going over there with the who? With the PO4. All right, so that's going there, and that's going there. Whoops, I need to show you how I did that. Instead of me just slapping numbers in here. All right, so The 4s came over because they were inside the what? The parentheses. So now I'm going to put in my oxidation numbers because they're both compounds. +1 and -2, +1 and -3. And I got all those numbers from right here. That's why I leave them when I'm writing it. So the 2 comes down, the 1 comes down, the 1 comes down, and the 3 comes down. That make sense? Okay. And then you're ready to balance. Do I need to balance it, or are we okay on that? Okay. Questions? So you feel okay about that? I'll give you some from homework. Now, the last thing we're going to do today is combustion. And you're going to have to take a picture of your homework for most of you. Or you're going to have to get it off the website. All right, so the last thing we're going to do today is combustion. Decomposition is going to have to wait till tomorrow. Now, there's not a lot for me to say about combustion. What did I tell you yesterday combustion is?
Carbon dioxide and water.
Carbon dioxide plus water is the products. What do you start with?
Fire.
Do not start with fire, people.
Hydrocarbon.
You start with a hydrocarbon plus oxygen. So if you have C3H8 plus oxygen, some people look at that and they see it as single displacement. They don't see combustion. So if you start down that path and you're like, oh yeah, that's some single displacement as well. The first thing they look at is what are the oxidation numbers? O's a -2. I got that. And the first thing they do is, I don't know the oxidation number for carbon. They look it up on their oxidation sheet. They go, +4, -4, 2. Ms. Wall, what's the oxidation number? How's H supposed to be a +1 or a -1? I don't know the oxidation numbers. When you get stuck on the oxidation numbers, what should that tell you?
You did it wrong.
Exactly. You should start to figure out I'm going down a rabbit hole and I've got an error. Okay? Something is wrong. I am not going to have oxidation numbers in an equation that I can't come up with. All right? So stop there and reevaluate. Something must be wrong. So this is carbon. This is hydrogen. This is a hydrocarbon plus oxygen. That should scream to you, I'm not single displacement. I must be combustion. Now, the nice thing about this is there's no predicting necessary. You already know the answer. Okay? You know the 2 products. The 2 products are always CO2 and H2O. That's all you have to do, or write them down. That's it. So you just write CO2 plus H2O and then balance. You don't have to do anything else for combustion. That's the beauty in combustion. The reason people get this wrong is they don't recognize the equation because they think it's single displacement and they do really weird stuff with oxidation numbers and try to switch the O and the H. Okay? That's where they go wrong, which is why I'm telling you to recognize when you get stuck on those oxidation numbers, you have gone down a rabbit hole and you are doing the wrong kind of equation. You will not have an equation where you're going -8, an oxidation number of -8. You are not going to have that. Okay? I will not try to trip you up with something like that. Okay? I'm just not going to do it. So, let's talk about what I do want you to be able to do tonight. So tonight, I'm mixing up your 3 types of equations. Yes, let's. Because tomorrow, we're going to learn synthesis and decomposition, and I'm going to mix up all 5.
I don't know who's going to go playlist.
Right.
What's wrong with it?
Mixing it up. That's like pineapple on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza is fabulous.
It is not.
Pineapple pizza is really good.
Pineapple pizza is good. That's debatable.
I never eat
All right. So, since only have several people are missing, and I'm trying not to get too terribly far ahead of them. All right. I only am given 5 questions for homework. There's no paper to hand out. It's this. Right? Yes, you can take a picture. I just said that a minute ago. We're listening. All right.
Love you.
But this is your homework. Okay? Now, it is a mix of single, double, and combustion. I want you to identify the type. I want you to predict the products. And I want you to balance the equation. Now, tomorrow, we're going to add in decomposition and synthesis. So for those of you who will be testing tomorrow, unfortunately, I will be teaching new content tomorrow. Okay? I feel bad about that, I know.
You should. You should. You should.
I do feel bad, but there's not a lot I can do about that. Watch the video before you come back on Thursday. I know, you have play practice, you have all this other stuff. I feel bad, but I cannot just not teach tomorrow. I'm not going to not teach tomorrow. I cannot just keep practicing there.
Why don't we just do a lab?
Yeah, no. Predict the products, tell the type, and balance.
Predict balance.
I don't even have to write it down. I just have to know.
Right? If you're one of the 3 or 4 people who got calculators today, put them away. And then make sure you keep your behind in your chair until 11:40.